What's going on, America? Welcome to Kevin at Kevin's Corner. And I'm going to try to make some sense out of this utter nonsense that's been going on. Apparently, our president has lost his mind. Can you believe that? You mean to tell me that the liberal media is able to diagnose our president from far away, the same liberal media that he has outsmarted time and time again, from the beginning of his campaign all the way until now, but yet he's crazy. So they're being beaten, played, and embarrassed by a crazy person. Basically, that's what they're saying. And you know what cracks me up about this is I said to myself, why, man, why are you guys doing this? Why are you trying to make the president seem like he is going crazy? Well, the only thing I could come to conclude is that they're crazy. Yeah, because see, what they're trying to do is convince us, all of the voters and all of the non-voters, that President Trump is out of his mind, and yet the evidence does not show that. They're trying to gaslight us, ladies and gentlemen. Gaslighting is simply telling something over and over again until the people start to believe it, even if it doesn't make any sense. So when you make claims like the president is crazy, what they're really trying to do is embarrass all of the people who voted for the president, because now you fall into one of two categories. Either you're crazy for supporting a crazy man, or just wait for it, or you are embarrassed because you voted for a quote unquote crazy person. So they're trying to embarrass the voters and also make us disassociate ourselves from the president based on these phony accusations that he's crazy. And that is simple identity politics. If we identify them with him and we say that he's crazy, then nobody wants to be associated with a crazy person. I mean, you got family members right now that you won't claim because they're crazy. If your uncle was Hannibal Lecter talking about some, hello, Clarice, come closer. Closer, Clarice. Would you claim him? Would you be like, yeah, that's my Uncle Lecter right there. He eats people for a living, but that's my boy. No, you would be like, I ain't never seen that cat. He ain't part of my family. So what they're trying to do is disassociate us from the president by making these false claims that he's crazy, which is stupid and dangerous. Because by doing this, what they're really doing is, one, embarrassing our country. I know people overseas are like, what is going on with the Americans? They're crazy. I mean, we look nuts. We're the only country that attacks our leader and makes stupid claims for political reasons like he's crazy. I mean, if I was from a foreign country, I would go, I think all of America is crazy. But secondly, it also undermines his ability to negotiate on behalf of Americans. They're not even thinking about America, because when you start distorting the views of our leadership and our leader from another country, that changes your approach, your responses, all of those things. They can screw up the ability to make a deal that could benefit all of us because they're playing political games. So what they're really trying to do is destroy our last stance at conservatism, because Donald Trump has ignited a new passion, a new boldness when it comes to the conservative voice. I mean, prior to Donald Trump, y'all, the conservative movement was on the ropes. I mean, we was like, simply just one punch could have finished us. They had us on the ropes when it came to speaking out about how we feel about gay marriage, about transgenderism and gender neutrality, about how we felt about pretty much anything in our society. They had us on the ropes, and everybody was tiptoeing, walking around on eggshells. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want them to come in and shut my business down. I don't want to be on the news talking about I ain't racist, but yet they saying that I am because I made a comment that, or I had an observation that I made a response on, and they were like, oh my God, you must be right. Had us on the ropes. Trump comes along and he begins to address and say things that a lot of people feel. And so it emboldened the conservative voice and movement again. And they can't have that because they have a bigger agenda. So what they're trying to do is, of course, make everybody think this is you know what, they're like monkeys. That's what they're monkeys that just throw poop on the wall and hope that it stick. All of the liberal media and all of the dumb Democrats is running around like and just throwing poop on the wall and going, I hope this stick. We'll throw the Russia thing out there. Maybe it'll stick, maybe it won't. And if that don't work, we'll throw some women out there saying, oh, Trump touched my shoulder and now I feel all icky. Or if that don't work, then we'll go ahead and say the man has lost his mind. Which, to me, that effort to try to convince his voters and practical thinking people that Donald Trump is crazy is crazy. See, would a crazy person say, you know what, in spite of me not having any political experience, I'm going to run for president and win? And he did. That doesn't sound like a crazy person to me. In fact, if he was crazy, that's an embarrassment to all of the people he beat. Would a crazy person say, you know what, I'm not only going to run for president with no experience, but I'm going to use a fraction of the resources that my opponent used. I'm going to have less staff and use less money and still win. I mean, he must be real crazy to pull that off, right? Huh? Or how about this? You know what? I'm going to use the same entity, the liberal, funky, dirty, nasty, crooked media, to help me win by giving me free advertisement because they're so thirsty and angry and foaming at the mouth like dogs with rabies. Foaming at the mouth to get at me. They're going to follow me and cover me, whether it's good or bad press, but it's free press. And yet they did it. They helped him get it. They helped the crazy person get into office if he's so crazy. I mean, would a crazy person say, you know what? I'm so crazy that I'm going to outsmart all of these quote unquote sane people in the media and all of the Democrats. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to troll them. I'm going to make statements that I know they're going to jump all over and be like, oh, I can't believe Donald Trump said such a thing. This is ridiculous. By saying things like, you know what? Hillary's judgment must be poor by having Uma Abedin as her number one person, and she lives with Anthony Weiner. And I'm concerned about the security, national security. And they were like, oh, this is criticism. I can't, blah, 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 blah. And yet, come to find out he was right. Or was he crazy when he said Obama was wiretapping him at Trump Towers, and they all said, he must be crazy. This is unbelievable. How could he say such a thing? He must be dealing with paranoia. Huh? And yet, he came out to be right. I mean, when you look at the media, it's like they never got nothing right. They can't never do nothing right. Except win the fake news award. That is it. That is it. That is it. As Ricky Bobby say. So, for them to make statements like, the president is crazy. It's an embarrassment to our country. It's an embarrassment to the media. When you look at them and their track record, they said that the stock market would crash. It went up. They said that, what else? They said that the Trump dossier is something that they can rely on, and yet comes out to be fake and false. Here's a whole organization that 90% of their coverage has been negative about the president, and we're supposed to trust their judgment when it comes to him being crazy or not being crazy? I mean, do you see the irony in this? I mean, I'm going to tell you what sounds crazy. We're going to do a little comparison when it comes down to what's crazy and what ain't crazy. See, to me, it is crazy that you would bring on some quack bootleg psychiatrist or psychologist on TV to diagnose the president of the United States from afar and declare him to be crazy and actually act like you believe it on TV. Yes. So what you're saying, then he's suffering from psychological, and I'm going, y'all are great actors and actresses. You should win an Oscar to pretend that you actually believe the garbage that's there, what they're spitting out of their mouths. And so basically you're saying that the president isn't, and they act like it's real. And I'm going, you are crazy to believe that. What is crazy to me is just what the left, the liberal media embraces. You want to talk about crazy? It is crazy to think that a man and a woman can switch their gender just by going, now I'm a man. Wait a minute. Now I'm a woman. Just blinking. And you can be whatever you want to be. To me, that is crazy. To me, for people to argue and go to bat to allow children to go into whatever restroom they want to go into, starting from kindergarten, and you are seriously arguing this in our society. That, to me, sounds crazy. for you to propose that refugees from another country that we can't vet should just be allowed to come on in without even being able to find out where they're from, what their intentions are, putting American lives at danger, to me, that's crazy. When you say things like Antifa is a peaceful protest group, and yet all the evidence shows that they are violent, to me, that's crazy. When you say things like, we should be nicer to our enemies, we should screen what we say to Kim Un, we shouldn't be so combative. President Trump said harsh things to Kim Un the other day about blowing him up because he has a nuclear bomb too. How could he say that? He's just going to provoke him. And I'm going, if you can't see that we're dealing with a maniac who only responds to that type of tough rhetoric, then you must be delusional and crazy. That's like going up to a pit bull, seeing him growling at you, and you go, oh, look at him, he's smiling. Maybe I should pet him. Yeah, that's somebody who are delusional. They don't see the seriousness of the situation. So to me, that's crazy. Yeah, see, when the media says things like, I can't believe Donald Trump pulled out of the Paris Agreement, even though it doesn't benefit America or American workers, even though we put more money into the Paris Agreement than any other country, even though that China and India doesn't even have to abide by the agreement, even though we don't have any structural plan of how we're going to even deal with the climate change. We're just throwing money into the wind. It's just crazy for him to pull out. To support that type of situation and behavior, you have to be crazy with no end game. So when you talk about crazy, who's really crazy? The things that he's proposing make logical sense. You want to talk about crazy when you try to convince America that their own experiences is not what they should gauge what's really going on in America. Like, for example, you would think that when we walk out the street, it would be nothing but race riots all over the place, people chasing down homosexuals, beating them up in the street. You would think that women were being slapped around in public and told that, look here, woman, shut up, get in the kitchen, you're supposed to be barefoot and pregnant. You would think that all of these things are going on in our society if you watch the liberal media and listen to the divisive, partisan / identity politics Democrats. You would think all of that was going on. And they're able to convince some people that this is going on in spite of what they see every day in their own life experiences. Now, to me, that is crazy. Yeah. So when you look at Donald Trump and he gets up in his rallies and he begins to talk and the stuff that he's saying makes practical sense. It is not fragmented. It's not up there just all over the place. His thoughts are organized and it seems to be based in reality. Because guess what? A lot of people going, I feel you. Yeah. But then the media gets up there and tries to contradict it and make us seem like what he's saying doesn't make sense. To me, the media is living outside of reality. To me, they're crazy. And so the things that Donald Trump is addressing is actually practical. It's logical. So for them to try to convince us that our president is muy loco, that's right. Crazy, insane, is crazy. For them to sit back and put social issues in front of serious issues, for them to try to make America focus on things like gay marriage and transgender rights and safe spaces and all of the illegal immigrants, they should all be allowed to stay. Forget about the immigrants that came the proper way and had to stand in line. Let's go ahead and shut down the government for all of the immigrants who didn't come the proper way. Let's pick our heels to die on because things like black on black crime in America, it's not that important. Or things like a lack of jobs or a broken school system, that's not that important. Things like legal immigrants and their rights and how illegal immigration affects them. That's not important. How about our broken infrastructure? No, that's not important. Yeah, we'd rather go ahead and focus on a whole bunch of social issues because we don't have an agenda. That's what it really comes down to. And so they have to divert our attention away from serious matters by saying dumb stuff like the president is crazy. I mean, I was almost offended listening to some of these quacks that they brought on the TV show. One guy up there talking about some a guy who is sexuality, bringing his sexuality into it, and I'm going, who pays you? Where did you get your degree from? I hope nobody is taking you seriously and coming into your office like, I saw you on TV and I want you to counsel me because I'm suffering from postmortem stress. Whoever that guy they had on, I hope nobody ever calls him up and asks to be counseled. See, here's what's crazy to me. That they would bring somebody on CNN, the Clinton News Network, to actually try to convince us that all of the mistakes that they made concerning Donald Trump is really good. When little Brian Stelter asked about, is it bad when the media gets things wrong? They had some idiot on there that had the nerve with a straight face to be like, actually, when the media gets things wrong, it's a good thing. It shows that they're really trying to fish out the truth and it actually benefits Donald Trump. And I'm going, okay, maybe I'm crazy, but that didn't say, you know what that sounded like? That sounded like Eddie Murphy in the Vampire in Brooklyn when he was like, if you didn't have evil, you wouldn't know good. Therefore, evil is good. And people somewhere, I'm sure, in America say, yeah, that makes sense. To me, that is crazy. So, when you look at comparing who's really crazy, the media, the liberals, the snowflakes who's running all around versus Trump, there's really no comparison. And it's sad when you see their efforts to do things like, last one, you know what's crazy? It's crazy for them to take all the lack of evidence of the Russia collusion story and false narrative, all of the lack of evidence, and approach it as if it was truth, and yet at the same time, ignore all of the obvious evidence about Hillary Clinton collusion, FBI collusion with her, and all of those other facts. For somebody to ignore the house being burnt down, that's completely on fire, and they just looking at a lighter that's flickering, that shows me that you are crazy. You're not seeing the big fire. You're looking at this little teeny fire because obviously you must be crazy. So, who's really muy loco? It's not Trump. It's not his supporters. You know, for them to take this fake book, Fire and Fury or whatever, and use it like it's the Bible and the roadmap to destroying Trump and discrediting him, it only contributes and makes it more obvious to us not believing the media. And also it contributes to us realizing their true agenda, which they've already exposed. And I'm sorry I'm taking this long, y'all. I've been sick of just watching this every single day, them getting on there and trying to act like they're having a serious conversation about the mental stability of Donald Trump and with a straight face. It's hurting my feelings, y'all. So as we move on, this too will pass and people will see through it for what it is. It's another funky effort from the dirty, nasty, crooked, disgusting, just garbage liberal media and those dirty Democrats to undermine the president and to try to out him some way or at least cripple him enough where he's not effective. So it won't work. I think people that got some brains, just one little bit, if you got just a smidge of brains, you should be able to see through all of this. Do not fall for the craziness of the Democrats and the crooked liberal media. Because right now over there, they over there singing Let's Go Crazy. They're like, I'm excited. Do-do-do-do. I don't know why. Do-do-do-do. Maybe it's cause. Do-do-do-do. All gonna die. Yeah, they over there jamming. We're not gonna let the elevator break us down. No, let's go crazy. Yeah, let's get nuts, which they already are. But anyway, you've been listening to Kevin in Kevin's Corner. For those that have any question about the mental stability of the president, I'm telling you, just use some reasoning. Step back from the media and just say, wait a minute. Does he display behaviors and embrace policies of someone that is crazy? Or do the left and the liberal media display and embrace and try to convince us to believe things that are obviously crazy and defies logic? It's amazing how they do it with a straight face. Unbelievable. They are pathological liars. Just pathological. Yeah, just, hey, did you slap him? No. Straight face. No, I didn't. I saw you. No, you didn't. Look, when you slapped him, you said, yeah, I slapped him. Now you telling me you didn't slap him? Exactly. I didn't slap him. That is how straight face they will lie to us. All right, so you've been listening to Kevin in Kevin's Corner. If you are in Kevin's Corner, make sure you subscribe, hit like. And also, if you want to donate to Kevin's Corner, please feel free. There are links in the bottom. You can also follow me on other social media outlets. And if you are in a city or having an event where you need someone to come and speak about the unfortunate corruption that's going on and how politics is just really out of control right now, feel free to contact me via email. My email is also in the bottom. And I look forward to speaking with everyone again. May God bless you. And we will talk soon in Kevin's Corner. Take care.